Continuing on, this should be obvious, but you should do your homework on the school or district that you're applying to.
Oh, absolutely.
You should know what their school day looks like. You should know how many schools are in the district, what the collaboration might end up looking like then, if they have done recent collaboration between schools, what their performances look like. A lot of schools will list that on their website.
Check out their YouTube performances.
Yeah.
If you're going for a high school job and it's not marching band, it's not a marching band position. Like, you should realize what division they march in. Oh, you're a D2 school,
Right.
or you're D3 school.
And then you'll know what the expectations are.
And typically, especially if it's like a high school position, you're usually going to have one of the other music teachers in the interview. So it's kind of nice if you can say, oh yeah, I was watching on YouTube, you did a show about, a tribute to jazz.
And then maybe ask a question about that show. Like,
Yeah.
oh, why did you do blah, blah, blah? I thought that was interesting.
And the bottom line is, it's going to show, oh look, this person actually
wants to
be here, or at least is willing to put in work. That's half of it. Are you willing to put in work?
Are you willing to do the job that we are hiring you for and not just sit there?
So.
Next one, prepare relevant information about your skills. So that means if this is your first time going for a teaching job, they're not going to care that you work at Starbucks. They're going to care about, do you teach private lessons? What did your student teaching experience look like?
Summer camp work.
Things like that. And if you don't have something, do your best to kind of stretch what you do have, but it needs to be as close to the job as possible. Like, for example, if I apply to a technology-focused job, I'm not going to lean on pushing my cart around elementary school aspect of my job. I'm going to lean on what aspects of technology have I done either for my classes or for other teachers in the school collaboratively. So, kind of shape what you've done to fit that specific job. And I think that shows when you just send in your resume that you took the time to...
Oh, you're saying from the actual, and the whole resume and application.
The whole resume application,
that's
when you walk in the door, be ready to angle how you respond to
Also,
that.
assume that they haven't read your resume, or certainly they don't have it committed to memory. So remind them in the interview of, oh, well, this. Don't say, oh, it's in the because I think originally when I was going through, you go, oh, okay, well, they already know all this information that I put in my resume. They're going through X amount of applications and just refreshing themselves, and they probably have multiple interviews.
Right.
So yeah, realize that that's a thing. Try to be concise with your answers. I have a very difficult time with that. I think anyone who's watched this podcast knows that I tend to ramble and ramble.
They want your answer. They want you to answer the question in a concise and clear way, kind of like if you were teaching something.
Well, that's the thing. They don't want you to get off topic.
Right. Asking a lot of questions.
I feel... okay,
well about the position. Specifically, kind of get a feel for the situation itself you're walking into, because there's the job you have to teach, there's the material you have to teach, and then there's the culture and climate. So how important is music in the school? Do you have a budget? How supportive will the administration be? What's the parent involvement like? Things like that.
I would disagree with you on at least two of those questions.
Okay, which ones?
I wouldn't say how supportive is of the administration is the music program.
Okay.
I feel that's the way they're going to take it, because I don't see any administration saying, not at all. We don't support it at all. There's better ways. There's better ways to phrase that.
Well, the thing with education, they're not going to come out and say, like, we won't support you. We don't care. You're just covering a teacher's prep time. You can kind of get a feel, like, if you're gonna matter at all if you have a question.
I would stick it to budget. What is it? Was the typical budget?
Which is a good indication too.
Yeah, if that's what you're looking, and realize when you're interviewing, you're also trying to figure out, do I want to work here?
Right. Right. You're also interviewing the school.
You have enough stories where you've interviewed and you just went, I immediately don't want this job.
I'm not sad if they don't call me back.
Have you ever?
The world's shaking.
World's shaking. Have you ever been on an interview where you just said, I would turn this job down if they offered it?
None immediately spring to mind, but I do remember feeling that way after an interview. Like, this is not worth relocating. This is not worth what it... Oh, Yeah, one just popped into mind.
Is it the one with the was it the Catholic school?
That one was just weird. No, I was thinking of a private school where it kind of seemed like there would be a chance that I would not be teaching music.
Oh, that happens all the time at
Yeah.
private schools. Oh, that's yeah. Realize, and not all private schools and things like that. A lot of private schools though will do a bait and switch, where it'll be a situation where it's like, okay, well, you're the music teacher, but you also, you do that one day a week, and then you're paraprofessional or something like that, and then they try to throw in like 4/5 para pay and
Yeah.
one.
Which I imagine if you so happen to not be a music teacher, you're a grade level teacher listening to this. I'm sure that happens all the time where you think you're going to teach one grade and then the week
Oh,
before
it's for
school
fifth grade,
starts.
and then they switch you.
And then suddenly like you're a fifth grade teacher, but now you're teaching kindergarten for some reason.
Or you're in class support with another teacher and
Yeah.
you're co-teaching. I mean, that happens all the time.
The last tip I wrote down would be to prepare answers for questions you think you're going to get based on your situation. So
Yeah.
a very clear example for myself or for John would be, why are you leaving your current position, or why are you interested in
And that's
moving to
And that's
us?
always a tough one, to not just have a generic answer of saying,
Yeah, because,
oh, well, I want to expand my horizon, especially if it's the same position.
Yeah,
If you're a high school band director and you want
moving
to go
to
to
a high
another
school
high
band
school.
director job.
I mean, you could always stroke their egos and just be like, well, I really like my district, but I feel that I'm, able to just do so much more musically and such a great district.
It's a very difficult question too, because you don't want to downplay where you're at, whether or not you're happy where you're at. Like I'm not unhappy where I'm at. I'm fine with my job. So to answer that, I don't want to downplay my current job because it's fine the way it is. But then the trick would be to kind of be like, well, I feel like your school offers X, Y, Z, or I'm kind of looking to move more towards this. Like a grade level change would be
Well, that's
an
the thing. Yeah.
easy way to be out of that question.
My at my current job, so I've had two jobs. I was at a charter school and now I'm at a public school. I'm like, oh, why are you looking to leave? I'm like, because my charter school is closing.
That was very easy.
That was
answer.
Charter school is closing, and I made sure to say it had nothing to do with the music program. The state came in and just said, wow, this music program is just so bad, we better close this charter
Marks on the
school.
clipboards.
One thing that I did that I thought was really good with my current job when I got it, you usually can research what the lesson plan format is, or the recommended lesson plan format is for the district. Places are getting away from UBD or understanding by design now, but I remember when I was looking at my current job, I was like, okay, that was one of my follow-up questions where they said, do you have any questions for us? And I said, I just want to double check that the district does understanding by design or UBD for lesson plans. And then on the demo lesson, I ended up doing the exact template, the Wiggins-McTeague template for the UBD thing. So all of a sudden it was like, oh, look at this. This person did enough research and did an exact, lesson plan template of UBD.
Yeah, that would be something I would have to keep in mind, because my school uses the charter lesson plan model, which I'm sure is not used in public schools. So there you go.
Yeah. Fun fact about UBD, the first time I ever heard about it, I was interviewing for a job in South Jersey. I think it might have been like high school piano and like elementary general.
Okay.
And they're like, what do you know about understanding by design? And I'm like,
Yeah, I remember that.
understanding designing. And then like I just rambled, and at which
And
point
then
I
you
probably
later found out that we actually did that.
Oh, yeah, but they
at
just
Rowan,
didn't.
but they never
called it that.
Know your buzzwords. That could be. another
Oh
one.
man, buzzwords. But no,
What
that's also.
buzzwords does your school like?
But even more so to that credit, research what their philosophy is and lesson plan formats and things like that, because I wouldn't have nearly struck out on that question as poorly as I did had I been like, okay, well, this or that.
And I guess a closing one for me: don't be discouraged. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but if something doesn't go your way, or if you get thrown off by something, don't feel like you can't get a job. Just kind of take that experience, learn from it. Next time that situation comes up, you'll be more prepared. It won't shake you as easily. You'll know what you need to look up. You'll know what you need to research. So just stay positive.